Hey, good morning, my friends, and welcome to Surfside, California. It's a gorgeous morning, still overcast. You don't see the sun, but it's pretty calm. Just a slight breeze this morning, and it feels really, really good. We've got a lot to get into with you all. We'll be talking bluefin tuna, Channel Islands, the local bite. Are the barracuda going to show up? So much to talk about because you know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. So good. Hey, if you don't mind, hit that like button. That means so much to us, and all of you are doing that. Can't tell you how much we deeply appreciate it. Share these videos if you like them. Subscribe and hit that little bell. You'll be notified when there's new content, and we are updating you all the time. All right, first and foremost, I have a huge favor to ask of you. Captain Eddie Leland. So many of you know him here in Southern California. Some of you don't know him, all right? He's a great father. He's a great son. He's a great person, okay? And he's really having a difficult time with cancer right now, trying to stay motivated, trying to fight ahead. And his daughter, Heather, contacted me, and Heather said, Phil, wouldn't it be something if we could fill the mailbox, you know, old school, mail, U.S. mail, with birthday cards and good wishes and maybe stories. And, you know, if you're somewhere in this world, we get people watching from Mexico, Taiwan, China. We've seen people watching from Russia. Anywhere in this world, if you could send Eddie a birthday card or a get well card or something like that, it would mean the world to me, to Heather, to Eddie's whole family, and most importantly to Eddie himself. I know it's a lot to ask. I know how busy schedules can get. I get it, believe me. But if you could take just that little bit of time and send out a U.S. piece of mail, a birthday card, or I'll give you an email address also if that's best for you. And if you could share this with somebody, share this and get them to do it. Share it in your groups. Ask people who are members of your club. That kind of a thing would really go a long way. So let's do this together. The Friedman Adventures family coming together. Let's fill Eddie's mailbox with love. His birthday's June the 22nd, so we've got plenty of time to pull this off. And even if you see this later on, you can always send Eddie a get well card. His address is 6202 Shawnee Road, Westminster, California, 92683. If you want to email me and send Eddie your wishes, we'll print it out and make sure he gets it. That is walk, W-A-L-K, with, W-I-T-H, Phil, P-H-I-L, at gmail.com. Let's do this together and make a difference for Eddie. Motivate him, show him that he has a lot of love surrounding him. That would mean a lot to me. All right, everybody, let's get into the fishing. Boy, I'll tell you, this year is going to drive everybody crazy. Once in a while, you step on the gas and the bluefin are going absolutely crazy. And then you get into what's like the doldrums where, you know, a few guys get some good scores here and there. A couple guys at night get a good score, but there's a lot of really slow fishing trips. And I've got to chalk it up to this cooler water again. I think that is perhaps what is going on. See that guy going down to try to catch some fish. Hopefully it's going to get rolling here, but it is very inconsistent. There's a lot of slow trips, some good trips mixed in with it. I mean, really excellent trips. Polaris Supreme, some guys have had some great trips. The Highliner here recently had limits of bluefin tuna. The Pacifica had limits. The Islander on a 2-day, 29 guys, 55 bluefin tuna. There are scores out there like that, but there's a lot of very poor scores also. I mean, 3-day trips with a handful of bluefin tuna. So hopefully this thing's going to settle down and bite. It looks like at times it's going to do that, and then it just goes down the toilet on us. So we'll have to continue to watch this very, very closely. At night, there's been some really excellent fishing, including LA Orange County-based boats. You saw what the Apollo did the other day with 34 bluefin tuna out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro to 230 pounds. Looked like the deck of a long-range catch. And also, the Freedom had a huge score. They're out. They'll be fishing tonight. I'll be updating you on that and watching it all very closely. At night, you're fishing those knife jigs or you're fishing the Daiwa SK jigs, rip rollers, whatever your preference is. And it's been like 300 grams to 420 grams for the most part. That can change due to wind and current, depth that the fish are at. Having that colored line is really important, the metered line, so you know exactly how deep you're dropping your lure. When the captain says drop to 400. If you're dropping to 350, you're not in the game. You're out of the game. So you have to have some way of ascertaining the exact depth of your lure, and that will make all the difference in the world to you. And I like to drop, he says 300, drop to 325, 350, and come up through that, drop back down again. You don't wind all the way to the surface. There's no need to do that. Come through that zone, up above it a little bit, drop down again. You might get bit on the sink. You might get bit on the wind. Hopefully, excuse me, that night bite is going to turn on again and start to bite. All right, Ensenada area, same thing, hit and miss. There's some really good scores down there for the pongeros that are out of Blackfin and all the other guys that are down there fishing out of Ensenada. And then there's some slow trips where they're looking for some of those kelp patty yellowtail, trying to find that, or finishing everybody up with some rockfish. The other day, they had some good barracuda fishing down there, mixed with some good calico bass fishing. That is great fun, if you ask me. I love doing that. When Diego Nuno is in Ensenada and we fish with him, my kids and I love fishing calico bass. So hopefully we're going to see more and more of that. Speaking of Diego, we'll be getting some reports in from him because our good friend Sam De La Torre is out with him. That's why we didn't have Tackle Shop Confessions last night. I have gotten 100 emails about what happened. Where's Tackle Shop Confessions? And I deeply apologize, but Sam is on the Royal Star, hopefully catching lots of fish. We'll watch it very, very closely for you. And I know we'll be getting some photos in of Sam and Diego on the Royal Star and getting some updates from those guys. Now, the full day trips, the boats that leave in the morning and come back in the evening, they have been missing on the bluefin tuna for a little bit now. You know, they're going to connect. You know they are, but right now it's mostly bonito and those smaller grade yellowtail on the kelps. Most of those yellows on the kelps are 5 to 10 pounds, and you're going to catch those on 25-pound fluorocarbon, www.opsonusa.com. The Opson is a great fluoro, and you do need it. Now, I'm saying 25. A lot of those guys are going to tell you 30 to 40. And if you had to pick between me and the guys that are on the deck, I'd go with them every single time. All right, guys on the deck of the San Diego, guys on the deck of the Grande, the Liberty. Those guys are very good fishermen, and they're out there every single day. And they're worried about you hooking perhaps a tuna that's a sizable tuna, and I get that. I get all that. But you can drop down to a little bit lighter if you're on one of those kelps and pray to God that it's only one of those 5 to 10 pound yellowtail. If they're biting the 40, I'm a heavy line guy. I know that goes against a lot of how people feel, but I was raised that way. I love fishing the heavy. So if you can go to the 40 and get a bite, do it. Choosing a good hot bait, as always, makes all the difference in the world. So you definitely want to be doing that. That'll make a huge difference. And so you're going to need that. You're going to need 80 pounds, 60 to 80 pound. You can throw those Daiwa Sakana lures with that, small shiny jigs in the daytime, and also fish with a sinker rig. Hopefully the San Diego or one of the boys gets in to that bluefin tuna today. It's only a matter of time. It's been this way. You know, good one time, slow the next. We're into kind of a doldrum period right now. All right, let's check out what's going on our island scene up here, San Clemente Island. Every once in a while, a really good shot of yellowtail, but mostly it's been picky here. Sea lions are driving everybody nuts at SCI right now. The boys from Marina del Rey Sport Fishing jumped on board the Thunderbird out of Davies Locker in Newport Beach, and they had a ball yesterday. Had 6 yellowtail on the rig. They also had copious amounts of delicious, colorful eating rockfish. They had a really fun time on the Thunderbird, as they always put out first class effort on that rig, no question about it. There are surface iron yellowtail. There's been some yo-yo iron yellowtail, and there's been bait fish. Fly line bait has also been effective over there at San Clemente Island. So we'll continue to watch that. The Fury out of Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, they've also had some go-arounds with some yellows, few yellows, and occasional halibut and good rock fishing. So hopefully we're going to see that turn back on again. And it is very close to where there was some really good nighttime bluefin tuna fishing going on. So if your rig is on a day and a half or 2-day trip, you might be fishing that. I would check with the landing and see if you need to bring your tuna tackle. Right now, I mean, you got to bring the kitchen sink with you because you just don't know what's going to happen. You could be at Clemente and get a radio call from somebody, hey, we're on these things. You guys better get your butts out here. And you don't have that kind of tackle, you are screwed. Remember, there's 20-pound bluefin running around, but there's fish up over 100 The Apollo the other day had several over 100, including that 230 pounder. So there's a lot of that big fish around right now. Keep that in mind. Catalina Island, a little bit slower yesterday, but gorgeous sea bass and yellow on board the Pursuit. That is a beautiful big fat white sea bass, and hopefully Cat's going to get going right now, catching some bonita and a few calico bass, a few rockfish, and hoping for a pop on the halibut or the sea bass or the yellows. We've seen it from time to time. Double digits on the Yellowtail the other day on the Native Sun out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro. So we'll continue to watch that for you very, very closely. Let me just talk locally and say, man, where are those barracuda? We really need them. Couple of barracuda up in the Channel Islands, sprinkling of barracuda in Baja. I'm thinking with all this anchovy around, Pat Whitaker running the Manana Bay boat said he hadn't seen anchovy this beautiful and voluminous for 20 years. You're thinking, come on, let's get going. But everybody in this business, everybody, commercial guys and everybody says, we are a month behind. Chronologically, obviously, we're not. But I'm talking about oceanography. I'm talking about water temperature. I'm talking about everything that looks more like we're in early spring than we're bumping on the door of summer right now. So I think that's what's going on here. I just think that we are behind a month and things will materialize. And that includes our albacore. I know you don't want to hear it, but I'm telling you anyway. We firmly believe you're going to see albacore this year. The conditions are just too perfect for that. They are absolutely beautiful for that. So we'll see where we go from here. So once again, local boats catching rockfish, sculpin, a few bass. We need some gar to show up, that is for sure. Pier Point Landing, all the guys up and down, Marina del Rey, Redondo, 22nd Street. Most of the boats are picking away at the rockfish, doing quite well. Picking away, I shouldn't say that. A lot of guys have limits. Really good sculpin fishing on Monte Carlo, so that's still good. And then down around Dana Wharf, sometimes they have some really great bass fishing, mostly shorts, but a lot of action down that way. All right, up to the Channel Islands we take you, and up in that neck of the woods, the Endeavor with another great trip. As you can see, some nice sea bass and halibut. We told you yesterday the Endeavor was into fish. We didn't have numbers for you, but a great trip and tons of rockfish. You know, that's the thing about the Channel Islands. I only point out like the halibut and the sea bass and the yellowtail, but you can just add in great rock fishing, because if they turn their attention to that, they're going to catch tons of rockfish. A boat that doesn't catch rockfish, for example, you have a charter that says, hey, we're sea bass, do or die. It's not fair to say that they're not doing well on the rockfish up there. They are. It's phenomenal. It's great, and you can get in on that on a regular basis. Mirage, 15 halibut yesterday, 8 white sea bass, 1 yellowtail, Aloha Spirit, 9 halibut, and a couple of barracuda. Oh my God, where are you? You slime sticks, you little devils. We need you to come in here and bite today into the local areas. That would really light things up and get things rocking and rolling. So up there in the Channel Islands, again, some pretty good fishing. Not everybody's getting in on this halibut and sea bass, but you are guaranteed pretty much, if you don't have weather, if the weather's nice, you're going to catch a lot of nice rockfish. There's no question about that. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and please, if you can take the time to go get a card and send it to Eddie's address, that would mean the world to us. And if you could share this with people, send Eddie's address to a friend and say, hey, this guy really needs your love. I know you don't know Eddie, for example, if you're talking to somebody who doesn't know. I know you don't know him, but this is something good that we can all do together. It's a way of lifting his spirits. And I was with him yesterday, and he needs your love and support. And this is a great way for the Friedman Adventures family to come together and do that. All right, my friends, have a great day today. It's a beautiful Wednesday. Hopefully, things are going to pop up and bite. And of course, we have those shorts all day long where we keep you informed and going on a regular basis. I'm feeling pretty good this morning. I'm hoping that cold of mine that I've been whining about like a little baby is finally in my rearview mirror. We'll see. Have a great day. Take care, and I hope to see you really, really soon.